On Thursday, after a trade meeting, Republican senators claimed that President Donald Trump instructed top administration officials to explore re-entering the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is also called the TPP. Now, this trade pact, as we just stated,
you sure it's the same TPP?
It's the same old TPP.
You sure it's not called like the tremendous purple pony?
No. You sure?
The
Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP. Same old trade agreement that many people were talking about during 2016, including then candidate Donald Trump, which he declared that it was disgusting. He called it a disaster. He said that there's no way that, he would put us into that trade agreement.
He referenced NAFTA.
He referenced NAFTA.
He referenced it because, it was, Bill Clinton promoted it.
That's correct. And specifically why he was going so hard against it in 2016 is because it was looked at by many people, including us, that the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton was for it. Because when she was Secretary of State, on at least 45 different occasions, she publicly supported the TPP.
And she called it the what?
She called it the gold standard in trade agreements. She said it would lead to just this influx of jobs for the country.
But that was kind of before the election cycle. Most of the
that's why she was Secretary of State.
Yeah, while the positive things she said about it were not during the campaign trail.
Right.
So once she started running and the questions started coming up, she started kind of like waffling on
she was ducking them. She was ducking them. She was ducking them hard, man.
She was scuttling.
No doubt.
She was trying to scuttle away from the questions.
Yeah. And then she had that interview with PBS. And then she finally said, well, with what I know about it, I can't support it. Everybody's like, what? We got videos of you supporting it at least 45 different times and calling it the gold standard. Like, what are you talking about? And I remember I wrote an article about this as well, right? At the time of that interview with PBS, she said that she couldn't support it based on what she came to learn about it. The full text of the TPP had not come out yet. So how could she say what she knew about it? Whatever she knew about it when she was the Secretary of State.
Or she's saying she promoted it 45 plus times without knowing about it. So either way, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. But again, going back to Donald Trump, he made this a wedge issue. This was a big part of his campaign. Big part of his candidacy.
And what's the first thing one of the first thing he did, like after he got inaugurated, was what? He pulled us out of the TPP, which that's actually a mischaracterization of what actually happened. And I've been trying to tell people, and I'm like, let's not give this dude a pat on the back because the TPP had not become active yet.
Active, right? We weren't in it.
At the time, we weren't in it. Right. He just kind of took us out of the talks. It hadn't even been because I think there was still more countries involved that had to vote on it,
and we hadn't voted on it.
We hadn't voted on it yet, and it wasn't going to be at that time. If we voted it on it at that time to be in it, and with those other countries, it still would be around this time to where it wouldn't become active. Right. So he didn't pull us out of anything we weren't in. He just pulled us out of the talks. But now it seems as if he's
push us back in. Right.
So a lot of people, a lot of very popular media personalities, a lot of them on Facebook, a lot of them on YouTube, a lot of them so-called progressives switch their, their vote or their support or their identity to supporting Trump. And that was one of the main kind of points they used to justify it. The TPP, he pulled us out, so he saved us, and that's why I'm voting for Trump. That was said
it was a wedge issue. Many people based on that issue was like, we definitely can't vote for Hillary Clinton. Let's go with Trump. See, he's not trying to send our jobs overseas.
So the two main issues I saw people talking about was He's not a war hawk like Hillary. That has proven to be
false.
He pulled us out of the TPP. That's a mischaracterization, so that was false from the jump. But now he's getting us back in. So pretty much your 1 and 2 reasons for flipping your support for Trump or just supporting Trump in general look to be flimsy.
Yeah, look to be like they're going by the wayside now.
By the wayside? It's way beyond the wayside.
So Senator Ben Sasse, Republican from Nebraska, he said after this meeting on trade, he said, quote, "The president multiple times reaffirmed in general to all of us and looked right at Larry Kudlow and said, 'Larry, go get it done.'" This is coming from one of the Republican senators that are privy to President Trump's words. President Trump, I'm not aware of President Trump being like, damn it, that damn Sasse, he's lying on me. No tweets.
That's not quite, how things went down in the meeting, that he didn't say that.
No. Seems like he is actually kind of toying around with the idea of entering into the TPP.
And that's the wedge, that's the issue he used to, I guess, try to at least rhetorically elevate himself over Hillary Clinton.
Yes. Now, I think during 2016, we talked about the TPP many different times. But just on one issue, why the TPP would be bad for America or, bad for us is that foreign companies would be able to sue local, state, federal governments if we implemented like a raise in salary, a raise in wages, or any other law that would cut into their profits.
It also exempted companies from following environmental regulations.
Yes, because it cuts into their profits.
So anything that cuts into the profits, regardless of if it's just advocating humane treatment and environmental protection. Doesn't matter. Yes,
they would have the ability to sue America, like I said, local governments or America in as a whole in an international tribunal. So it wouldn't even be a case that's handled by the United States of America. It'd be an international tribunal, and they will vote in favor of the corporation.
Basically arbitration,
no doubt. And again, who authored the TPP? How did it come together? The corporations write it? Lobbyists? Yes, they did. This was going to be a windfall for corporations, the biggest businesses of the bunch. It wasn't going to be a windfall for the regular Americans or the regular people. No, it wasn't going to be good for us.
He wasn't going to go to war. Got us out of the TPP. He's going to build the wall. He's going to lock her up.
Lock her up.
Get rid of Obamacare.
Yep.
Has any of those things happened?
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand, right? If there was going to be a grace period before he started to work on any of these things, but this is not one of those. This is not one of those issues. He actually is going back on these things. He's going back on not being a war hawk. He's going back on the TPP. So I'm just trying to figure out, for people who were loyal to electing him, where do you draw the line? And just kind of just go ahead and come to the realization that this joker was a fraud.
You know that saying that I like to say, man?
Pain is coming.
The pain is coming.
Yeah.
You know that
the pain is coming.
The pain is coming, right? So this is what's interesting to me, right? Like you perfectly described it. The TPP was a major wedge issue in 2016 in trying to choose between Trump and Clinton. Okay. Now Trump is signaling his intentions of getting into the TPP. So for the Trump supporters out there, noting how devastating they believe that the TPP was going to be for America, if Trump as president actually gets us into it, is your support going to waver even a little bit? Is it going to waver? Is that foundation going to start to crack just a little bit? I'm just asking.